We thank you for Will, who has come over safely and has spent a successful time here. We pray that his time with Ballanta will also enrich his experience of Sierra Leone. Thank you for your patience, for all of you who've been waiting for before 3 o'clock. So we go straight to the point. For those of you who don't know who I am, and I've met quite a few of you, I am the principal of Ballanta Academy. I am new at Ballanta, and although I do not have a music background, I am a music lover, and yes, I am running Ballanta at the moment, and being supported by Auntie Kitty, who we all know with Ballanta, associated with Ballanta. So I'm just going to welcome Will Calhoun. Do we all know him?
Yeah,
put your hand up and say yes, here. Okay, good. This is why it's good to be here. Tell you what, I have to be honest. When Auntie Kitty told me earlier this week about Will being in town, and she sent me a link, I looked it up, and I thought, oh yeah, that's cool. What I didn't really understand, only after looking closely at it a day or two after, I thought, ooh, okay, wow. This is, and I saw a few YouTube videos, and I thought, so the drops can be so interesting. So thank you, Will. He's a drummer. He's very, he's been in the industry for 39 years. But we are Ballanta, because Gwyn will introduce you better. Gwyn is going to do your introduction. I'm welcoming you, yeah? And I know he's been in the music industry for 39 years. That is a whole lifetime, man. Well done. And we are Ballanta. We've been in the music industry for 25 years as Ballanta, but we represent Nicholas Ballanta, who was a musicologist. Yes, he's the first known Sierra Leonean musicologist, and he was a playwright. He did a lot of productions. Yeah, we have some of his works. Yes, and we've been, and this organization was formed in 1995. It was co-founded by Dr. Kitty Fadluddin and the late Dr. Mr. Lodgy Wright, who passed away 20 years ago, coincidentally tomorrow. And yes, but Auntie Kitty has held it, kept it going. The Lodgy Wright family have been involved as well. We have a board, which a supervisory board, and I am the head of management, and I have talented staff, young people who have great ideas. They are very talented, and we teach music. We are known for, unfortunately, for classical music, but we do more than classical music, and we also we've also now this year incorporating African traditional music into our curriculum, and also the WASC. We also now offer WASC. It's the high school qualification in music.
Just bumped into Will at the Independence at the Mitwani Conference Center. So I just walked over to him and we started talking, and we realized that, I'm a musician, he's a musician, and we pretty much love the same music from the same roots. Then I told him about Ballanta, and he says, oh, Auntie Kitty told me about Ballanta, and we both asked him to come, so I'm really happy that he's here. So that's how we met. I won't say much about him, because I know you guys have already sent you all the information about him, but you can easily find out, he's world-renowned, a Grammy Award winning drummer, producer. Grammy Award, if you don't understand, is the highest award that you can be given I would say in the world for music. He's got it twice. So we're very fortunate. But also he's a very, as we would say in the States, down, very easy guy to get on with. So that's why he decided he's going tomorrow, but he must be here today. And I would like us to give him a round of applause. I can't say much about him for making it. So don't just think of him like, American drummer. The guy's been to Mali, he's studied the music in Mali, Morocco, he's been in the desert, he's lived, gone to places that you and I would not even go to places and live. So apart from him being a musician, but he's also, a guy who wants to live and breathe. We both had very similar experiences with music. He's into jazz, I'm into jazz, gospel, name it. And we have a certain way, we're talking about it, to approach music. So we both have the same experience. When you go to Mali, Senegal, that kind of area, music is slightly different approach to the way the Western world approaches. So we're both talking about how similar that is, where we brought a certain amount of music, we want people to learn it, listen, find the changes. And the African roots, they don't do it like that. They listen, they play, and they only take one take in the studio, and it's over. So we both had that similar experience, so he's learned from that. I won't say anymore. I'll pass the mic over to him, and let him leave.
Hello, everyone. Hello. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to just keep things on the table. First of all, it's great to see everybody here today. And it's an honor for me to be here. Outside of any traveling, research, or awards, information is very important for us to grow as musicians and as human beings. A little brief history. I'm from New York, from the Bronx, New York, and I grew up in a really lovely house with my mother. We had a 2-level house, and she donated basically the basement apartment for the whole neighborhood. Anybody can come to our house and play. And my older brother was a musician, so I was younger and I watched a lot of great musicians come to my parents' house. Keyboard players, bass players, singers, Latin music, Haitian music, everything came. So before I went into being a musician, I was listening to music all my life and experiencing music and experiencing people playing music. That's where it began for me. I played in church, I played in the Bronx. We used to play right in the park. We would open the city, the traffic light panel, and in every traffic light panel, there's a power switch you can plug into. So we would take a coin, open the panel, take it off, take our power, plug it into the light, and play on the street until the police told us to stop, which didn't happen often. So it's really nice to be able to have this interaction with your neighbors and people on the street. That's where it began for me. As time went on, yes, I went to college, went to Berklee College of Music, and I was studying engineering, how to mix sound, microphones, as well as the instrument. I wanted to do both. And then I began my journey playing first with someone you should know named Harry Belafonte. He's a great artist. I was 19 years old and very shy about being a musician at that time. And Mr. Belafonte really gave me a beautiful introduction into the industry and music and my knowledge and what I should learn, things that I should do and what I shouldn't do. Shortly after that, I joined a band called Living Color. Please look that up. It has the English spelling, C-O-L-O-U-R. And Living Color is a rock band. We're all from New York City, but rock and roll is black music. Don't let anybody tell you anything differently. Just like hip hop and blues and jazz and gospel, it is black music. So some people were surprised at how we looked and how we dressed and how we behaved. But if you listen to the music, we're all middle class black kids that grew up in New York, and the subject matter in our songs talk about race, sexism, politics, systematic racism. It's nice to play music and have fun, but all of our tunes in the band have a message in the music. We have a responsibility when you're a musician, I think. And we want to be responsible for the people who came before us. The B.B. Kings and the Jacksons and the take your pick, who else? you want to choose. But it's like family, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your parents, and then you, and what you do affects what your children do and your brother and sister's children. That's how we look at the responsibility of music. I always had a love for Africa, the entire continent as a child, and as soon as I was able to afford it, I wanted to come and do my own research. And that's what Gwen was talking about. I did it on my own for more than 20 years. I hire a driver, I go over the desert, I research the music, and I want to study maracatu in the northern Brazil, which is really Angola. I want to study Ganawa, which is Moroccan, but really comes more from the Manding music, which is also in this region. I want to study all of these things because when I play this instrument, I want to communicate to people, Sierra Leone, Mali, Morocco, Guinea. This is very important that those places and our culture comes out in everything that I play. Whether somebody knows what it is or not, it's important for me to be able to put that across to people. It's not an accident, and I do it on purpose because I want people to hear the history and the brilliance about our culture. It's very important. So I'm having fun, and it looks cool in the video, but in what I'm doing is always science in there. So I know this is a little bit more militarily based and classical, but I would like to offer my services as much as possible post this meeting today to try to help the school get some more instruments, get some other kind of music in here. I'm from the Bronx, that's the home of hip hop, that's where it started, in my neighborhood. So I want to bring some electronic things to the table so the music becomes wide. It's not for old or young, or it's for everyone. That's the idea. It's just sound at the end of the day. The same way you listen to traffic, the same way you listen to the birds, the same way you listen to the beach. It's the same mechanism that happens in your brain. Music responds the same way. It's just sound. How you delegate the sound is up to you, what you want to say. As a black person in the world, my freest moments are when I'm playing music. That's when nobody can touch me. Nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody can tell me how to think. When I'm playing this instrument right here, I am completely free, which is why I love it so much. Nothing else puts me in that place. If I'm playing in front of you, I'm playing in a stadium, I'm playing in my basement, in my house, I'm completely free. So if you don't have any relationship with music, my advice is it's a real direct path or example to freedom. It starts there. When you learn how to behave with the instrument in freedom, you're going to change your attitude when you get out in the world and have relationships with other people. Very, very important. So it was an escape for me when I was young. I had friends that were hustling in the street, gangs, drugs, and I didn't grow up in the ghetto, just so you know. But people make choices. Rich people, poor people, it's just a choice. You don't have to be poor to make a bad choice. You can be rich and make bad choices. We do know that, just by looking at the political climate. There's bad choices being made, but this instrument for me was a way for me to find myself. I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. I didn't want to sound like everybody else. I wanted to learn more and expand my horizon. I didn't want to talk about the things my friends were talking about. I wanted to discuss other things outside of the Bronx, outside of New York City, even outside of America. What else is going on in the world? How are those things going to affect me, how I play, and what I do? That's really what's behind it. So it's entertaining, it's instrument, it's educational, but I just want to give you a little bit of another definition from me, where it's total freedom. And the only example I could give is, if you can imagine being outside in the dirt or on the beach, and you take a stick and you draw a circle around yourself, right? Can you envision that? And that's you in that circle. It's your space. No one's allowed in, and you don't go out. That's your reference point. That's where you judge how you want to behave, what you want to do. Is somebody telling me the truth? Do I like this? Do I want to do this? That's the way I think about this instrument. I put just like this square carpet, is my zone. And when I'm playing even with other musicians, I play with them, but I keep my space because everyone has to have a reference point. And your reference point is only for you. It's not for your parents, not for your partner, but you want to decide what you want to do. That's your space. And in the world of art, there's so many brilliant, great artists, painters, writers, musicians, architects that behave in that way. To become creative, you have to have your own space. You can't share it. You can share it after you get some information. The idea is for you to create your own space. And when you start to do that more and more and more, you're going to become more confident. You're going to become more open. Your ears are going to get bigger. In my business, they say the guys that have elephant ears, they can hear when you're playing something. It's like you in a conversation. Somebody's talking about something, you know what they're talking about. You can tune in and go, okay, I know when it's my turn to speak, I know that president, or I know this country. I know the gross national product of this country. I know the language they speak. I know the food that they eat. Somebody talking about Sierra Leone, they don't know you're from Sierra Leone just by looking at you. And you can hear someone say something, whether you're 10 men, men, whatever, you can tune right into that, and then when somebody comes over to you, you already have the information. It's the same in music, exact same thing. So I don't want to get too long-winded, but I just want to give you a little bit of a background about myself and my personal relationship with the art, with music, with this instrument. So I'm going to play a little bit. of Brazil. It's from Angola, okay? And it's only used 2 times in the culture. One, for the queen. If the queen is coming out of the house, the queen is coming to march, the queen is coming to greet people, you play that. And when it's time to fight, time to go to war, it's the only time you hear this. But it's played with 200. I'm just taking all the parts, put it on the drum set. But it's played with maybe 200 drummers, men and women. It's very powerful. I wanted to play that for you. It's a very powerful rhythm. Maracatu. M-A-R-A-C-A-T-U. Maracatu. Portuguese, correct. One of my favorite patterns. But it is an Angolan beat. It was brought over to the northern part of Brazil mostly, and that's where you hear this kind of patterns. So I wanted to do a little bit of that, a little bit of samba, a little bit of 6/8, different things, a little bit of Bronx in there, so you can hear a little bit of different styles of music. So before I continue, I think it's a good time to see if anybody has any questions. Please feel free to ask.
Time,
For
time.
Maracatu?
Yes, is it 3 plus?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You can clap it. 1, 2, 3. It was slow for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5.
Clap along. Any other questions?
I want to know some of the challenges you've been encountering and what your steps taken towards those challenges.
One more time. What challenges? Challenges. I have plenty of challenges.
All right.
Sometimes I'll just stand up and talk. We're in a business with music, so there's a business side to this. This is the easiest side. Unfortunately, it's only 5% of what you need to know if you want to be a professional musician. It's a lot of business involved. So the challenges come from loving what you do, but not being able to do it all the time the way you love to do it. There are things you have to, it's like school for me. I didn't like school so much, but I liked going to school. I like hanging out with my friends and doing certain things, but I'm in a building, I also have to do good schoolwork because I'm in the school. So I do have challenges with the industry, I do have challenges, but how do I overcome them? It's intelligence and patience. You're not going to solve all of your problems right away. Things take time, you have to be patient. When it involves your career and your life, you have to make intelligent decisions. You can't make ones that you're going to suffer for later. Try to avoid making quick decisions. The third thing I'll say is when it comes to decision making, never make a decision when you're pissed off, when you're angry, when you want revenge, or you feel slighted by someone because you have the wrong energy to make a decision. Try to make decisions when you're clear. It's difficult when someone hurts you or your feelings get hurt, or it's difficult. But in my advice to everyone is don't make a decision then. If you're angry, it's okay. Disappointed, it's okay. Stick with this, but let some time pass. Think about it. Also think about what you need to do after you try to resolve that situation. The situation is just one part of it. What's next? Try to keep this in mind when you make a decision.
Ballanta Academy of Music in Sierra Leone, to be specific, called Ken, what you've had.
Yeah, it's one of the things why I'm here, and I'm going to embarrass my friend now. She has this company called African Ancestry.com. I'm just going to be honest with you why I'm here. As Black Americans, a lot of times people say they're from Africa. They don't know where. They don't know the tribe. They don't know the village. They don't know what's going in their blood. They don't know what makes them great. So his company, I'm going to say, is 18 years old now. Was designed by my colleague here. You can stand up. That's Dr. Gina Page. There, Gina Page.
And I didn't know her at the time. I didn't know her, but I read about her company online, so I wanted to do a DNA test. Take a DNA test. They take your DNA and they're able to tell you what part of Africa, all the way down to the tribe that where you're from. And I always wanted to know that. And I found out that my father's side, I'm 100% Mende, which is fantastic. So the real reason why I'm here, because I've been to the continent, I've been coming to Africa almost 25 years now. This is a time where I'm able to come to learn about myself, to learn about my people, to learn about my culture, to learn a little bit of Creole, and to see the things that are missing, in my opinion. The bridge has been kind of blown up, so I want to make another connection. And Sierra Leone is where I'm going to start to make the connection. So my investment for me is big. I want to do as much as possible for Sierra Leoneans and the culture and music and bringing people here and bringing instruments and artists to develop it, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Sierra Leone. Right? That's a fact. So I have to now go the other direction, and it's been very, very incredible to get a name and to get citizenship.
Now you're welcome.
My name is Teru Bulama. I'm a customer of this company, and you asked me about coming here, and I wouldn't be able to be here and to have a name and to get citizenship if it wasn't for Dr. Gina Page's organization and program, which I'm going to say this because I have a lot of black friends in America. I don't know what anybody in here thinks about black Americans, but there's a big ambivalence in America with black Americans because they're afraid of Africa. I'm sorry to say. They don't understand. They see what's on the movies. They think you get off the airplane and the giraffe is going to run by you. There's Ebola. It's promoted in this terrible way for black people, but it's not promoted in a terrible way for white people. So what this organization does, for those who aren't brave enough to do it, is it holds their hand a little bit and to introduce you to the culture in the country in a way where you don't feel scared, or you don't feel ambivalent, or you don't do something ignorant. And that's why I took advantage of it, because I wanted to know, I want to bring my children back, because they're also Mende now as well, and have them to experience the things so you know when you're walking around who you are, what you are. When I'm playing this instrument, I know exactly who I am. And now I know more who I am, because now I'm studying traditional music from Sierra Leone, the drumming from here. It's important for me to study this music. So, Gina, you want to say a little something about the program?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My company, I started 18 years ago with a black scientist. And he wanted to know where in Africa he comes from. Like Will said, we just know that we're African Americans. Well, what does that really mean? There's over 50 countries. There's thousands of ethnic groups and languages and traditions and beliefs. And we don't know where in Africa we came from. Do you know why we don't know? Does anybody know why? They took it from us when they stole us from here. When we were stolen during the transatlantic slave trade, we lost our names. So there are no Wills here. There were no Ginas here. We lost our languages. You were not speaking English. We lost our families. And it's been completely gone for over 400 years. So we want to know who we are. And now we can know because a black scientist, Dr. Rick Kittles, he did the research. So he came and he collected DNA from all over Africa. And now when someone sends us their DNA, we compare it. We compared his DNA to DNA from all over Africa, DNA that he got from his father. He got it from his father got it from his grandfather, and his father, for 2,000 years. It was the same DNA. So we looked for it all over Africa, and we found it here. There are some Mende men here who have the same exact DNA as Will. And that's how we made the connection. So that's what my company does. That's why we're here. So I think 60 people from the US and from the UK have traveled to Freetown, and 2 days ago, they received citizenship because they are the descendants of Sierra Leone. And so that's why I'm here.
Thank you, and welcome.
My name is Koza, I'm a drummer. I just want to know how you develop the speed around the drums.
Drummers and as musicians, there is a tool you can all use and you can download. Don't make it a marriage, but use it. It's called a metronome. And the reason why metronomes are great because they're great tools to check where you are in your learning. It's like a grading system. So I use a metronome and I start very slow. You know, I'm sure some of you are familiar with this. Think, even playing maracatu, I started playing it very slow. And then as I got more comfortable with it, I speed up. But the key is to whatever you're doing, whatever you're practicing, always record yourself. Because you never sound as good as you think you do. Many right-handed drummers, the right hand is louder than the left hand when they play. They don't notice it. Left-handed drummers play louder left hand. If you're supposed to play even, both hands have to be even. This is an ambidextrous instrument. You can use it any way you want. There's no one way to play this instrument. One of the most ambidextrous instruments, I think, invented. So use the metronome, record yourself, make sure things are clean and even, whatever you're practicing. And when you're comfortable at 90 beats per minute, and you try to go to 95. And at 95, you should sound just as good as you do at 90. If you do not, go back to 93, and you work your way until you can play it as fast as you want to play it. That's what I do with my hands and my feet. And make sure it's solid. The other thing is, some people you work with have very good timing, certain singers especially, so they can hear everything when you're doing wrong, when you're too loud. So the drummer is the leader of the band. I'm going to just say it. We lead from the back of the stage. If the drummer is not good, the band usually is not good. The band, I jokingly say, is like a single mom. You have to make sure everybody's cool. People aren't going to say thank you, and they're probably not going to give you the credit for it, but the drummer has to keep everybody in line. The bass player, the trumpet player, the singer. So we have to do it. It's a very selfless job. You have to give yourself. Sometimes nobody wants you to have anything, but that's the role of this instrument. You are controlling speed, dynamics, volume, all of those things. So in lieu of that, having great time, having great dynamics is a very important thing. If you look at any band you like, the drummer has to be a great band for the band to be great. The singer could be good looking and whatever, that's true, that's all fine. The beat is off, the song is not happening. So this instrument also has a huge responsibility, and a very selfless one, of being able to understand the other personalities on stage and how to make everybody feel good. So the metronome will help you with that. And keep it like you would keep anything else. Chart it out. September, you're 90. November, you're 95. January, you're 110. So you know, oh, it took me 3 months to increase my speed. It took me 6 months to increase my speed. I put it on my wall, still today. No computer, pen and paper. Boom, I can look at it and know, okay, it's taking me too long, it's learning curve. Or I'm struggling with this, I need more time. That's why I recommend both the pen and paper and the metronome, so you can have a good solid balance.
Like your expertise in the game and what you know, your talents, would you ever start like a management company or like a school yourself?
I have a management company where I don't manage artists, but I have a management company where I assist artists in managing them because I still like to play and go out. Really good managers should just be managers. They shouldn't be musicians at the same time. It's a hard work job, it's what it is. COVID obviously has had a huge impact on everyone's life and their career. So I teach in a few schools, but I also teach from home, live, online. The technology is still challenging with Zoom sometimes, but my idea is to work from home and travel, like coming here. Next time I come here, I want to have a schedule arranged, and we can have a program set up we can do more things than this. Maybe there's some private lessons, drum questions, or maybe you can do smaller groups of 3, 4, or 5 instead of having everyone together. We can do a week or something like this, or 4 or 5 days, and 4 students at a time. You can get more to what you're really weak in, what you really want to learn. This may be like a better concept. So that's my idea for it. School is really in the universe. Where you go and how you do it is what it is. I don't want to develop one place where I'm teaching from, but I would love to travel and pass the information along, and also learn from musicians that are here. I did a recording with Sori Kondi. I heard about Sori Kondi in a documentary film 5 years ago, and he blew my mind. And we were here doing an African ancestry trip, and one of the young camera guys asked me from this Eminence company, he asked me, do you know any musicians from my country? I said, I know one that I'm crazy. When I saw him, it was crazy. And I said, Sori Kondi. He said, oh, this guy lives near my house. This is how this is how the ancestors work. So I said, can you call him now? He called him, can we go into the studio tomorrow? And he said, sure. There was no drums in the studio. I took a towel, I shoved it in the guitar to make it quiet. I turned the guitar upside down, like a beatbox. I took this broom that you guys use here, that straw-tied broom, and I put the side of the guitar and I banged with my hand and we did some music, which I'm gonna post. Because to me, Sori Kondi is like a Stevie Wonder, to me. I don't know how he is for you, but when I saw him in this documentary, his music was amazing. He builds his own instruments, it's amazing. His voice is incredible. And to me, it was life-changing to see him. So to meet him, to have him say, sure, I'll come over. And he came over, and it was just very organic. And we didn't know each other. We had one microphone. We put it between us, and we recorded 3 songs. So I'm gonna post that when you go to my Instagram or something. You'll see.
This testimony and no students here. And while I was giving you choreography, I came across the word ethnic percussion. So I want to know more about ethnic percussion. And while we were playing with young kids, there was a time when the drums sound differently like other drums do. I want to know more how to develop some creativity skills.
This instrument is new and pretty American. I don't know, 250 years old. It's not as old as a djembe or tabla or dum-dum. This is a new instrument. Your question is really brilliant because to learn and to grow, it's very important. I still do it. You have to go in both directions. You're here in Sierra Leone. I've seen indigenous drummers here, and you should definitely connect with them and learn those patterns. Even if you don't play djembe, even if you take your phone and you just record them playing, learn those patterns, because just like Gina explained, that's the grandfather and grandmother of this. And if I know this, if you know that information, you're going to be so much more powerful on this instrument. You're going to be able to combine it because this comes from that. So how do I do it? I learn in both directions. I love electronic music. I love drum machines. I'm studying drum machines. I program. I make beats for rappers. But I also come here and play with Sori Kondi. You have to do both. It's going to make you a very balanced drummer. So you're a student, and that's fantastic. And if you need some more information, we can get you some more personal things. But I would say definitely study the tradition. It's very important. I can't explain to you more than how important. That's going to help you go further.
She is the only female.
I'm going to give these to you. Come on, this means you're going to keep playing, right? Okay, that's for you. You're welcome.
She's also wearing the right shirt.
Oh, okay. Yes, so percussion, the elements of your work, she didn't understand what that was all about.
What was your biggest hit, and who was the biggest artist that you ever worked with?
What type of songs do you write? Just things that you're inspired about, or?
Sure. Everyone in here who's studying music,
no matter what you're playing, you should learn the piano or the guitar or both. It's the most important part of your career. You must learn melodic instrument. You must know how to play chords and know how melody works and how harmony works. This is a very important part. A, of writing your own music and expressing yourself. B, when somebody gives you their music, you have a reference, you understand what it is. I write on different things. Drum machines, I play a little bass, I play a little guitar, and I play a little piano. And I study the chords and things too, but I also am inspired by sound. I might just make a loop. After the loop, I put a bass line on there. After the bass line, I put some chords down. After the chords, I put a little lead line with the melody. And you build it like you build a recipe when you're cooking food. It's the same thing. So I don't go into songwriting saying, this is a love song. This is a rock song. This is a jazz song. Because when you bring your music to other people, they're going to interpret it a certain way, and you have to be open-minded about how you want to have it. Maybe you play bass, and the brother next to you plays keyboard, and I have my song, and I say, this is Maracatu, and I give it to you. You don't hear Maracatu. Maybe you hear it as a samba. Maybe you hear it as hip-hop. So you have to bounce the ideas around. Song structures are just like a recipe. You have to make the meal. You want to cook something hotter, longer, more salt, less salt. That's how you compose, really, for me. I never approached any song by saying, I want to write a rock song or a jazz song. Now, yes, there are things, but it's very important that you learn the harmonic side of music. Piano or guitar. It's very, very important. It's going to make you a better musician. You're going to be able to hear things and know, oh, I know what that is. I know what to play. The greatest musicians in the world normally play at least 2 or 3 instruments, so they can relate to music in 2 or 3 ways.
My name is Brian, and I'm a pianist. More specialized in
piano?
Yeah, I'm more specialized in the gospel.
Oh, great, man. Great, congratulations.
I want to ask a question. This has to do more about the band perspective. You were talking about understanding your space. And I want to ask, you've played with groovy colors and a lot of bands. When you're playing in a band situation, how do you understand your space, your own bar that you will play very loudly? Because when you were playing, I noticed that there are certain parts you were playing, your accents were sounding very high, and some certain beats, your accents were sounding very low. And when I heard that, it took my mind back to you saying that knowing your space. So I want to understand, in a band situation, you're playing a certain song or maybe a concert, how do you know your space and where to play?
How do you know is you have to create it. And it's also, don't be shy to go, excuse me, bass player. I need the tonic. I need the bass notes. I don't need the other, I'm the piano player. I can do that. And it's not offensive, it's just creating a relationship. A musical dialogue is the right term to use. And when people understand your musical dialogue, when they call you to play gospel, they'll know what you like. And they'll know your area, and they'll stay out of your area. So it begins with how you play, and it ends with a conversation. Sometimes when I don't know musicians, I don't like to assume something, but I will say sometimes on this song, I want the bass player to play the bass. I don't need the guitar or the keyboard playing bass because of the structure. So to answer the question, it begins with how you play, and you being the keyboard player. The drums are the leader, the keyboard is the organizer. All of the voicings for everything that happens is on your fingers, right? Every key, every note, every chord. You have totally you in the guitar, everything's there. What the singer's gonna do, what the bass player's gonna do, you have it all in front of you. So you have to take a role to say, this is what I want to do. If I play E minor 7, I want this in the bass. If I want A sharp 11, if I want a C triad, I want to start on E, G, and C, not C, E, and G. You say what you want, and then people will start to understand the sound better. It just saves time.
My name is Simeon. I'm a trombonist, and I also own a charity organization, a music charity organization. We offer free music instruments to different charities. So currently working with 6 charity organizations. My question here is, it's not about music. I just want you to tell me, being a black man, being a black person in a white country, what are your challenges? because I know that there are so much yes.
I have to find a way to know how to deal with it, where I can be relaxed and be successful and do what I have to do. I don't let it get in the way. So it's a great question. I think it's something that you're going to experience that being Sierra Leone and being a young lady. You're going to get it from more than one direction, and you have to know how to deal with that too. So this is the reality of it. But when you're born in America, or what really is North America, and fortunately I had a beautiful childhood, you know early on where you stand and who you are. You have to be a blind elephant not to know that. You know the second you're born. You see how your parents behave, you see what goes on in church, you see the politics. The first time I was a little kid and I went to play with the other kids in the park, one kid called me a name. I knew I was different then. I also knew how to deal with that kid. So you know early on what it is, and you have to, and what I teach my children is the N-word is navigate, not the N-word you hear a lot of rappers use. The N-word is navigate. You have to learn how to navigate yourself so you remain on top, you don't get distracted, because the idea is for you to get distracted, so you don't complete your job. You don't continue being great. That's all it's set up for you to do. It's just to take you off out of your focus line. And I learned from Muhammad Ali, watching him fight and watching him talk. He's the first black man I saw get on television and say, I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, I can beat you and fix my hair and do an interview. This empowered me as a kid. I never heard any black man say he was beautiful on TV. Only heard it in my house. This guy was a superstar, and he came to my neighborhood with no security and got a haircut in the barbershop and was playing around with us. So Muhammad Ali for me was the greatest of all time as a fighter, but even greater as a human being. He gave it all up for what he believed in. He gave it all up. Same thing. It's the drive. What is it going to take you? How are you going to navigate it? He dealt with racism, as did Miles Davis, as did Youssou N'Dour, as did Salif Keita, everybody I mentioned here today. I talked to every artist. Stevie Wonder, Prince, they all deal with it. How are you going to navigate yourself in that kind of environment? You're going to let it beat you and defeat you, or are you going to overcome it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And with Living Color, it was easy, because I had 3 guys who felt the same way I did. And sometimes we played for 8 people, or 2 people. And we went from there to playing for 60,000 people. So the 8 people were more important to me than the 60,000, because those 8 people, this was happening. Right? So you have to navigate yourself. What do you want? How do you want to get? Because if you wait for legislation is going to get passed, I want somebody to love me, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I prefer to navigate and be prepared for the good times and the bad times. It's a very, very good question, and it's a very important one. And it's one people can assume you could do the wrong way, but it's very important that you know that, young lady, that you know that, what you're going to be dealing with and how to deal with it. That's why I want to turn you into Vera and these other ladies, because if you contact them, they're going to tell you some very important things you'll need to know to be a young lady and to play this instrument. They're going to tell you things I can't tell you. They're going to tell you some very important things I can't say, but that'll really help you more than I can help you. That's why I want to connect you with them. So I want to thank everybody really for coming out today. I really do appreciate it. And this is Ballanta School, and I will let everyone know. I definitely want to try to get back. When I come back to Sierra Leone, I want to work with the school to try to help get some things here, some gear, and some instruments. I would like to donate myself to upgrade the school and to get some technology, because people can help out. This school that you're here, you're going, is very important. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to donate and help get to Ballanta School.
This is called
the Southeast region. And we hope it will be added to your creativity plans and a reminder of your time with us here today.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. You take a picture. Yeah. I've seen it play. I don't know how to do it yet. That's it. I'll be better when I come back next time, I promise. Thank you so much. Thank you. And please contact me about the ladies. So thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A dear friend of mine, and many of the years I was meeting him, and he's a storyteller and drummer. He would say, "You must come to my country. You must come to my country. You must come to my country." So when I took Dr. Page's test, he's the first person I called to say, "Hey man, I'm Sierra Leone." So he told me to reach out to Kitty. We've been speaking, so this is a beautiful opportunity to come. And Kitty, thank you for the invitation too.
Oh, thank you so much, Will, for accepting our invitation, because it's like a dream, like magic's happened today.
Thank you.
I heard about you through a friend of mine, not exactly Kerale, but Mrs. Jackie Lee, I think, to whom he's connected. I don't know if you know Jackie herself. Yes. I haven't had time to unravel this connection yet. Wow. Jackie's a close friend of mine too, yeah. We both married Sierra Leoneans, so we have a lot in common. So, and our children are very good friends with each other. So anyway, I take particularly your advice or your experience, which matches with mine in a sense that I've been in Africa like 50 years. I mean, yes, I've not just been in Sierra Leone, I've lived in Ghana and I've lived in Somalia as well. So a few countries in Africa. And I feel that in Sierra Leone, we do not have enough chance or desire to use our own music. We just don't do it as much as I would like to see happen. And I'm a bit helpless in that because I'm not Sierra Leone. I cannot do it as much as I would like to. So I keep telling people, the Sierra Leoneans, to do this. But I don't know how to show them. This is the frank thing. I don't know how to show them because I don't know the rhythms and so on. So when I see you actually doing this, I would really like to know that you can show us step by step how to go from a native rhythm, a local rhythm, to expanding it. You understand? This is their, I think it's our dilemma. I could be wrong for all I know. It could be, it's like you want to do something but you don't know how to do it. And as the years go on, it becomes that they are more and more left at sea, so to speak, when they could be more focused. As soon as they started, and they're always waiting for somebody else to show them. And this is what I feel that, I don't know, I'm quite helpless in that, because I want to see it happen, and it's not happening. And up to my last breath, I'm going to still say that you have, this country's music is beautiful. Yes. There's so many facets to it, yeah? And the children just take to it naturally, but they're not given the chance to do it. And some, I didn't bring it, but I will. Anyway, so I hope, Will, if that is anything that you can do, is to help us go on that little ladder, to go up a little by little, since you have been steeped in that already. There are many young people here who can do things that will be fabulous if given the right direction, shall I say. So that is my wish, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming. I think this is the best presentation we've had in the Academy so far. I thought the drums were going to explode when we were there. Anyway.
He's been described as a vibrant drummer. I've been reading about what the media says about him.
Okay.
He's referred to as a vibrant drummer. It's like he's not just sitting there playing drums. He plays drums with all his energy.
That's true.
We saw that. Thank you so much. Have you not learned a lot? I mean, we can go on and on and on, but it's going to be too exhausting for him. So we say thank you, and definitely it's not well, goodbye.
Right.
It's see you soon.